A few years ago, there was a short window where casino status matching was one of the most powerful travel hacks out there. And when I say powerful, I don't mean saving a couple $100s. I mean free cruises, nearly free trips to Atlantis and the Bahamas, waived resort fees in Vegas, free hotel nights, free parking, all without actually gambling a ton of money. In our case, it started with one $95 credit card and turned into 6 highly discounted cruises, multiple trips to Atlantis, and thousands of dollars in value for our family. Now, I want to be clear up front. Most of this does not work the same way anymore, but understanding how it worked and why completely changed how I think about finding travel deals. I'll go over how all of this worked for me, but I'll also talk about what still works today. Because even though the game is harder now, there are still ways in. And learning plays like this, even when they're mostly dead, actually helps you to be a better travel hacker long term. If you're new here, my name's Mary, and I teach you how to maximize your points, miles, and money so that you can travel the world for nearly free. So let's get into it. Everything that I'm about to share is what we actually did as a family, not just theory. These are real trips, real bookings, real logistics, including traveling with kids and booking multiple rooms. Everything started with one credit card, the Wyndham Business Earner credit card. That card came with Wyndham Diamond status, and at the time, Wyndham Diamond could be matched directly to Caesars Diamond. That one match was the entry point to everything else. Because Caesars Diamond wasn't just a shiny status, it came with real perks. Waived resort fees, free parking, celebration dinners, and most importantly, it opened doors into other casino ecosystems. In June of 2023, we went to Vegas and matched our Caesars Diamond status to MGM Gold. And here's where timing mattered. Back then, there was something called a household match, which meant that your spouse could get reciprocal status. My husband didn't have the Wyndham card, so he didn't have the Caesars Diamond card, but I knew that the whole point of the status matching was for our family to get a bunch of free cruises. And those cruise offers were meant for 2 people, so you'd have to pay more if you're bringing more guests. And because we travel as a family of 4, that meant that it was going to save me a bunch of money if I made sure that my husband also had casino status as well, so we could both be earning free cruises and basically bring our kids for free. So once I matched my Caesars Diamond to MGM Gold, I used MGM's household match to get MGM Gold for my husband. Then we took his MGM Gold back to Caesars and matched him to Caesars Diamond. So one credit card with a $95 annual fee got both my husband and I Caesars Diamond and MGM Gold status. These 2 statuses alone were extremely powerful for us to leverage into future offers. But while we were in Vegas, we also earned a bunch of great perks. My Caesars card had the $100 celebration dinner loaded to it, and we used that at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. We also got free high roller tickets, free parking, and waived resort fees. So we saved a bunch of money on that trip alone just by doing a quick status match. But we weren't done yet. A couple months later, in August of 2023, we went to Atlantic City, and that's when the dominoes really started falling. We matched our Caesars Diamond and MGM Gold to Hard Rock Casino. That gave us Hard Rock Royalty, which we then took to Ocean Casino and matched it to Ocean Prime. At the time, Ocean Prime gave us access to a free 10-night MSC cruise anywhere in the world except for China. And it was an ocean view. So at that point, we had Caesars Diamond, MGM Gold, Hard Rock Royalty, and Ocean Prime. And that's when we started pursuing cruise offers. And the reason that I'm walking you through all of this detail is because there's a lesson at the end of this that applies way beyond casinos. The first thing that we did was we booked our free 10-night MSC cruise with our Ocean Prime status. Because my husband and I both had the same status, we booked 2 rooms right beside each other. What we really did in practice was we put all of our luggage in one room and then we all stayed in the other. My kids were 6 months old and 2 years old at that point, so we had no problem squeezing into one room. And this cruise was an ocean view, which was so nice. My son was the youngest passenger on the cruise, and the staff basically treated him like royalty. It was such an awesome experience, and we made some really great memories as a family. All in, we only had to pay about $70 to choose our room and then pay gratuities for the cruise. Even the port fees and taxes were covered by the Ocean Prime status. So that cruise took place in June of 2024. Then we sent all of our casino cards to Holland America to try to get a free cruise offer from them. We were each offered an interior room on a sailing of up to 12 nights, $100 in free play, and free drinks in the casino. We just had to pay port fees and taxes, and I believe we paid $100 per person, but then got that back in onboard credit. So we ended up taking a 7-night Alaska cruise, round trip from Vancouver. It was only about $100 to upgrade one of the rooms to an ocean view. So we upgraded that room, and that's the one that we ended up staying in. So again, not free, but wildly discounted for an Alaska cruise. And we're just getting started on these cruises here. We also sent all of our casino cards to Princess. Surprisingly, the casino card that Princess most cared about was our Hard Rock Royalty card. That snagged us each a balcony room. We were allowed to book up to an 11-day cruise to several different destinations, including Europe. So of course, we booked another 10-night Mediterranean cruise, this time with stops in Italy, Greece, Croatia, Montenegro, and Malta. This cruise took place in October of 2024, and this was by far our favorite cruise because we love the port stops, love the side-by-side balcony rooms, and it was so cheap. For 2 rooms, we paid $1,200, but we got back $800 in onboard credit. It was wild, such a good deal, but we're not even finished. I also matched myself to Virgin Voyages for a free cruise. Their cruise offers aren't as generous now, but when I matched, I could choose a 7-night cruise to many destinations. Again, Europe was included. You can see that I obviously have a thing for European cruises. So I booked myself and my husband on a 7-night Mediterranean cruise with all new stops that we had not yet been to. This one leaving out of Barcelona and ending in Rome. I only matched myself to Virgin at this point because both my husband and I were running out of PTO to fit in all these cruises. And so eventually I might be able to match him to Virgin in the future. We also matched our casino offers to Carnival, and we were offered a cruise for only about $100 per person, plus port fees and taxes. And then we'd get that $100 per person back in onboard credit. Very similar to the Holland America offer. We ended up taking an 8-night Caribbean cruise with this offer, and my parents, my in-laws, and other family members all booked rooms for themselves also. So that was really cool because it turned into like this huge travel group and was just a different kind of trip for us. That's what I love about travel. It makes you just slow down and enjoy time with your family. All right, so back to the actual casino status. In January of 2025, our Caesars Diamond status was expiring. So we went to Atlantic City and presented our Caesars Diamond cards to Bally's Casino, which gave us Bally's Superstar status. That actually came with another totally separate Carnival cruise certificate. We're taking that cruise next month. 8 nights in the Caribbean, interior rooms, again, paid port fees, taxes, and $100 that we'll get back in onboard credit. So that is 6 highly discounted cruises that my family was able to take from having one credit card and matching status to a bunch of different casinos. But on top of the cruises, we also used Caesar status for Atlantis. We booked 2 trips. One was a comped 5-night stay in 2023, and the other was a comped 4-night stay in 2025. Both trips were great, and I have a couple videos talking about Atlantis specifically, how our trips went, and how you can go about trying to get a discounted Atlantis stay today. So be sure to click into those videos after this one. The value was absolutely insane. And the reason that all of this worked is actually pretty simple. Casinos are often in aggressive customer acquisition mode. When they see a player come into their casino with status from another casino, they want your business. But they understand that you don't want to start at the bottom with no benefits. So they match your current tier at the other casino to their status levels to give you a comparable status tier in the hopes that you'll choose to gamble at their casino instead. It was perfect arbitrage for a travel hacker. And anytime something feels that easy, you can expect that it's probably going to just be temporary. That's why I always recommend to strike when the iron's hot so that you don't miss out on a good deal. Because fast forward to today, it's a lot harder to do the status matching if you aren't a gambler. You can't just get it from holding one credit card anymore. You can technically get Caesars Diamond from putting a bunch of spend on the Caesars Rewards Prestige card, $50,000 to be exact. MGM also has a credit card that you can put a bunch of spend on to get a meaningful status level that you could then match to other casinos. But as you can tell, that's going to take a lot more spend, and that comes with an opportunity cost because you could route that spend towards a new card sign-up bonus instead. So the barrier to entry is a lot higher now. But here's why I think this still matters. Learning casino status matching trained my brain to look at systems, not just perks. It taught me how to spot acquisition phases, recognize when something probably won't last, and move quickly, and understand why programs devalue. This is the exact same mindset that I use in points and miles, whether that's transfer bonuses, temporary sweet spots, limited time credits, or early opportunities that quietly disappear. Most people don't miss deals like this because they're bad at math. They miss them because they don't recognize them until it's too late. Now, at this point, all of my casino statuses have expired, but that's okay. I got exactly what I wanted out of it: incredible trips, unforgettable memories with my family, and a much deeper understanding about how these programs actually work. Casino status matching might be harder right now, but opportunities like this are always cycling in and out, in travel, in credit cards, and in points and miles. And if something ever feels too good to be true, that's usually the sign to slow down, pay attention, and decide whether it's worth moving on now and not later. If you want strategies for how to travel for nearly free with points and miles, especially as a family, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and click into the next video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.